Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the songs that were inspired by Aleister Crowley. Let's get right into it. The biggest artists in the world have always had a rebellious way about them. This rebellious persona these artists embody usually attracts young fans who themselves are seeking to be rebels. This is the reason why genres like rock and hip-hop both became so popular, as they both embody this rebel attitude. Rock and hip-hop instructs its listeners to act wild and do whatever a person wants. These are the values at the core of rock and hip-hop, and you can hear it in every song. You can basically find just about every artist in these two genres making songs that embody this attitude. While most people think it's just a gimmick artists pick up to sell more records, it's actually much deeper than that. There is a hidden reason all these artists act the same and sing about the same rebellious ideas. It's because they were all influenced by the same man, a man who is the most influential person when it comes to the music industry, and his name is no other than Aleister Crowley. Even though Aleister Crowley was infamous, he is still largely unknown by the masses. Usually only two types of people know who Crowley was: those who are occultists and those who study and expose the occult. In the world of the occult, Crowley is definitely one of the most influential people to ever live. He created multiple secret societies in the early 1900s and led many others, and even founded his own religious practice he called Thelema. Thelema is an occult religion based on the worship of the goddess Babylon. Members perform rituals and practice a ritual form called sex magic. Crowley himself was known to perform many strange rituals and indulge in sex magic rituals until his passing. Crowley wasn't your average occultist. Many occultists and Crowley himself believed he was special, chosen by the gods to bring in the new Aeon of the Ages. According to Crowley and his followers, while he was in Egypt, he was visited and influenced by the goddess Awis, who instructed Crowley to write the Book of the Law. She told Crowley that he would bring in the new Aeon, an Aeon where do what thou wilt will be the whole of the law. What Crowley meant by this was that he was going to bring in a new order of life, where the old religious values and traditions would be destroyed and replaced with the new way of life of do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want, whatever you desire, and only answer to yourself. Crowley's attitude is now being echoed by those in the music industry, and in today's episode, you will see countless examples of artists that were directly influenced by him. Many artists have paid homage to Crowley in their music, as they have used his teachings to become millionaire superstars. Some of these artists even went as far as putting Crowley's rituals in their songs for millions of fans to unknowingly invoke demonic spirits. One of the biggest artists who embodied Crowley's teaching was David Bowie. In the 1970s, David Bowie became one of the biggest international rock stars in the world. He would eventually pass away in 2016, succumbing to his cancer. He was known for many hit songs like Space Oddity, Under Pressure, and Let's Dance. While most people see Bowie as a pop and rock legend, most of his fans don't know who inspired Bowie's entire identity. David Bowie was no doubt an occultist, something I saw many of his fans deny in one of my past videos. The thing is, Bowie never hid his involvement in the occult. His fans just didn't realize it. Just like many other occultists, Bowie showed his Masonic alliance with the one-eye symbolism, as he can be seen time after time again doing the one-eye symbolism pose. He was also seen doing the as above so below pose in this photo shoot, which points to the Magician Tarot card, and Crowley often referred to the same card, as it refers to as above so below, or as in heaven shall be on earth, in a code ideology that ties back to duality. David Bowie's biggest inspiration up until his death was no other than Aleister Crowley. Bowie wanted to be just like Crowley to the point that he even mimicked his appearance. In this photo, we see Bowie dressed in attire very similar to what Aleister Crowley had on in this photo, clearly depicting just how inspired Bowie was. Bowie didn't hide his love for Crowley either, as he spoke about him in many of his songs. In his song Quicksand, Bowie straight up shouts out Crowley in the lyrics of the song, not even trying to hide it. He sings in the opening lines of the song, "I'm closer to the golden dawn," immersed in Crowley's uniform of imagery, portraying Himmler's sacred realm of dream reality. In the opening lines, Bowie shouts out the Order of the Golden Dawn, a secret society created by the Freemasons that was once led by Aleister Crowley. Bowie then went on to admit he is immersed in Crowley's uniform of imagery. He is confessing in his music that Crowley is who he was influenced by. This is the reason he dressed like Crowley. He wanted to be him so bad. He pushed his ideologies through his music. In one of his very last music videos, Black Star, we can see all of Crowley's influence in full display. He sings about the Black Star just like Crowley was quoted saying, "Every man and woman is a star." Bowie also called himself the Black Star. This wasn't the only song Bowie was seen admiring Crowley, as his song Station to Station was also inspired by Crowley's novel called White Stains. Bowie's song Let's Dance, one of his big hits, was also inspired by Crowley's poem Lyric of Love to Leah. Bowie embodied the occult with his persona, like the Thin White Duke. Something else Bowie always referred to was the coming race of superhuman Crowley in the Order of the Golden Dawn referred to. Crowley referred to this coming superhuman race, which he claimed possessed supernatural abilities and had no fatal effects from the use of substances. He also claimed that these Supermen were non-gender specific. In the song Quicksand, Bowie refers to the Superman. He also does it in the song called Supermen from his album The Man Who Sold the World. Bowie's song Oh You Pretty Thing is also all about this master race that would take over the world one day. He was referring to this race of Supermen that is soon coming. What Bowie and Crowley were referring to was the supreme or the master race, the generation that was born after the Age of Horus, which is the Generation Alpha. The generation that would grow up in the new world with the new rules of do what thou wilt. The Age of Horus started in 2012, and Generation Alpha started in 2010. This is the reason we have been seeing disturbing agendas being pushed on our children nowadays. They are creating their master race with this new generation. That's why they are pushing these strange agendas so aggressively to the kids in schools. They are getting them ready and normalizing these ideologies. David Bowie was quoted saying in one interview back in January 1972, during an interview with Melody Marker, "We have created a new kind of person in a way. We have created a child who will be so exposed to the media that he would be lost to his parents by age 12. All the things we can't do, they will." Bowie was openly referring to True Will and the master race that they were creating, like he stated, using media. Bowie literally said parents won't recognize their own children, and I found this very interesting. So many people comment under my videos that if kids are influenced by these celebrities, the parents aren't doing their job right. The thing is, this isn't true. Some parents fail to understand that unfortunately, they will never be more influential than the celebrities these children idolize. Most kids nowadays don't want to be like their parents. They want to be like those they see on TV or hear in a song. A parent can teach their children the right way, but these celebrities are going to override all that and influence your child with their ideas. This is what Bowie was referring to. He knew the kids were the future. This entire Superman belief in New Age all deserves its own detailed video. If you guys want to see that, comment New Age below. While people assume David Bowie was doing all this just for entertainment, they failed to realize this was all real. This is the reason why he became so big. He had a supernatural presence. Crowley's teaching lived on through artists like David Bowie, who embodied the spirit of the wickedest man in the world, just like Ozzy Osbourne, who literally made a song titled Mr. Crowley. Ozzy Osbourne, just like David Bowie, is a massive rock legend. Just like David Bowie, he was into the occult and often displayed the same occult imagery. Ozzy could be found just like many other artists displaying the one-eye symbolism and throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye. Ozzy showed his devotion to the occult many times over through the imagery he used. He openly admitted his love for Satan, something he still does to this day. Back in 2021, Ozzy even thanked Lucifer for protecting and stopping him from getting sick. So it's no surprise that Ozzy wrote a whole song about Crowley and even named it after him. In the song Mr. Crowley, Ozzy speaks about the Order of the Golden Dawn in the New Age Crowley spoke about. He is referring to the Age of Horus and the rise of the Supermen, just like Bowie also referred to. In the third verse of the song, Ozzy sang, "Mr. Crowley, won't you ride my white horse?" Mr. Crowley is symbolic, of course, approaching a time that is classic. I hear the maidens call, approaching a time that is drastic, standing with their backs to the wall. Ozzy was referring to the Age of Horus, something that many artists have referred to in the past. While Ozzy mentioned Crowley in the song, the rock band Behemoth took their admiration for Crowley to extreme levels. Behemoth was an extreme metal band from the 90s who are contributed as one of the founders of the Polish extreme metal underground scene that thrived in the 90s. These guys need no explanation as they're openly satanic devil worshippers who are devout to Lemites. They often wrote about the Lema and Crowley in their music, but they took things too far when they actually put a real ritual in their song called "O Father, O Satan, O Son." The ritual was called the Bornless Ritual and was made popular in the occult world by no other than Aleister Crowley. It was a summoning ritual that was used to invoke the spirits of the Bornless One. The Bornless One is a spirit occultist channeled through this ritual, and it's essentially used prior to magic ceremonies to invoke his spirit, as he is seen as the master entity of which all spirits come from. People don't know that by consuming this music, they're introducing themselves to these demonic spirits unknowingly. This wasn't the only band to put one of Crowley's rituals in their songs, as the band Ministry also did something very similar. Ministry is a band that saw commercial success in the 80s and 90s. Just like the other artists we have spoken about in this video, these guys openly show their involvement in the occult and their love for Aleister Crowley. They even wrote songs in honor of him, like their song The Golden Dawn, which was again about the coming age of Horus and the Order of the Golden Dawn that Crowley at one point led. During this song, Ministry used samples of Crowley's Call of the Second Aetheri, an Enochian chant used to summon spirits. In the song, they place a ritual chant so that those that listen would invoke this demonic energy. Another artist who was heavily influenced by Aleister Crowley, unsurprisingly, was Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson, like the rest of the stars in this video, was an open occultist who openly declared himself as the opposition of God, ripping pages of the Bible and eating it alongside many other demonic activities. Manson, just like the others in this video, showed his love for Crowley by shouting Thelema out in his songs. As in his song Misery Machine, Manson sings, "We're gonna ride to the Abbey of Thelema," also singing in the song, "Do What I Will." Marilyn Manson was openly admitting he was a Thelemite who was indulging in these rituals. Another band that also referred to Crowley was the rock band Iron Maiden, who in their song Moonchild also referred once again to Crowley's Superman of the new generation. Even the band Led Zeppelin was obsessed with Crowley and his teachings, so much so that the guitarist of the band, Jimmy Page, bought Aleister Crowley's former mansion so he may preserve and live in its rituals. Crowley's influence isn't only in rock music either, as we can find it in pop music made for kids as well. The Jonas Brothers was a popular Disney band back in the 2000s. They grew massively amongst the young teen demographic, and members of the band to this day have a successful music career. One of the brothers who showed love to Crowley was no other than Kevin Jonas, who wore an Aleister Crowley shirt to show his devotion. Another person who showed Crowley love that was highly unexpected was the pop R&B singer Ciara. Ciara actually wore a jacket that stated Order of the Golden Dawn on the back of it. You can see she quickly flashes this in a music video for her song Super Turned Up. Hip-hop artists have also embodied Crowley's teaching, as Jay-Z actually wore a sweater with Crowley's Do What Thou Wilt Creole for his Run This Town behind the scenes interview. In the interview, Jay can be seen clearly wearing this hoodie that states Do What Thou Wilt, Crowley's Creole for the new age. It's funny to me when people argue that Jay-Z throws up these occult hand gestures because of his record label, while he is straight up paying homage to Crowley. Tyler the Creator was another artist who early in his career was showing love to Crowley. Not only did he use 666 and inverted crosses in his branding, but he made demonic songs where he mocked Jesus and disrespected God's followers. In this photo, we can find Tyler the Creator wearing a shirt with Aleister Crowley, showing who he truly serves. Another rapper that was heavily influenced by Crowley was Ab-Soul. Ab-Soul was a part of TDE and worked close with Kendrick Lamar, and just like the rest of the artists was an occultist. He was a devout follower of Aleister Crowley, so much so, he dedicated a whole album to Crowley, calling his album Do What Thou Wilt, and it contains songs like The Law, where Ab-Soul repeats love is the law, another saying taught by Crowley. In his song Raw, he straight up compares himself to Crowley when he raps, "I'm cozy, act like you know me, wicked as Aleister Crowley, I just might OD, overly dedicated, just like my homie." Ab-Soul called himself wicked like Aleister Crowley, admitting he was spreading his evil through his music. Ab-Soul admitted he was a follower of Crowley during a Sway in the Morning interview. During this interview, he tried to state that he wasn't into the evils of Crowley, that he was a follower of God, just using Crowley as a metaphor.
When I discovered the name of the album was the saying "Do What Thou Wilt," which to me brought me to Aleister Crowley.
Correct.
And you know what you know who Aleister Crowley
Absolutely.
is, right? And he was a magician, a poet, and he was also linked to Satanism. In ways. And so, what made you decide? What does that mean to you? Made you decide to name your project that?
Well, you know what? You're the first one to bring up the Satanism, and I'm so glad that you did, because you know it's all church with me.
Yeah.
Know that. So, Do What Thou Wilt immediately sounds like free will. Aleister Crowley has been influential throughout music and entertainment and ideology and philosophy. The album is based on that quote, "Do What Thou Wilt," which is in the book, one of his books, the Book of the Law. And love is the law. Love is the only law. I respect that, because my main thing is ain't nothing wrong with a righteous man, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm I really admire this guy.
Is this gonna be the breakthrough joint?
Well, I mean, but you know.
Well, see, what he's saying is, are you signing your name on the
Are
dotted
you
line?
joining the
Are you signing your
Illuminati?
soul away?
Oh.
No, yeah, that's what he's saying.
Are you in the Illuminati?
I mean, what you think?
I know, but these are
but,
questions.
To the root of things, and Mr. Crowley has been instrumental throughout music for before I was born. You know what I mean? Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. There's a lot of great artists that are the building blocks for even hip hop. Me understanding that, you know what I mean, and digging into his story and understanding why he's been so relevant and influential in music culture. I think it was important for me to reinstill that. If you didn't know that, if you missed that part, if you missed that part of the culture of music in general, this beyond hip hop, but just music in general, he's had a big influence on the culture. At first sight, he's he's the wickedest man alive, right? That's what he's a very wicked man. But if you dig into the poetry and you read between the lines of his poetry, you dig into his story, a lot of the things will make more sense to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it made a lot of sense with me. A lot of the things that he discusses resonates with me. I just want to leave you with this. My album is called Do What Thou Wilt, and it's based off, it's influenced by Crowley's The Book of the Law. Love, Thelema. Love is the law. Love is the only law. Love under will. The law is for all. If you read the Christian Bible, that's the only commandment that Jesus left.
The thing is, it is obvious he is a devout follower of the beast, as why else make an album about him? So many of these songs on his album refer to Crowley and his magic teachings. I think a full breakdown of this album would be a revealing video. If you guys want to see that, let me know below. These were just a few examples of the artists influenced by Aleister Crowley, but do believe most of the industry are embodying Crowley's beliefs. They are all pushing this new age agenda through their music and sadly have the world manipulated. So many people are being guided to a burning end without even knowing it. This rebellious do what thou wilt persona all these artists embody ties directly back to Aleister Crowley. They are fulfilling Crowley's demonic prophecy of bringing in the new age of Horus. The masses follow these artists that have devoted themselves to the world of the occult, not knowing what it truly means. Crowley is the most influential man in music, and this video hands down proves this. I might have to make a part 2 to this video if you guys want to see it, as there's still so many artists I wasn't able to get into. If you guys want to see a part 2, comment part 2 below. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.